Hey, what's up guys? It's Nemo back again with another video for Opinionation Station. Like always, I always start my videos off with a little backstory on how I even came up with the topic. And today's topic is the importance, and I guess we can say the benefits, of completing things that you start. I feel like a lot of people have this issue. I was definitely one of them. And the reason why I came up with this topic is because over the weekend I was actually listening to an audiobook that I had just purchased. I use audiobooks.com, the mobile app, recommended by the way. And I had just started this book that was not grabbing my attention at all. Like I couldn't stand it. Let's just say that. And my first instinct was like, wow, like I really want to just chuck this to the side and start a completely new book. But also my habits wouldn't allow me to do it. You know, my habit that I've built wouldn't let me put it to the side and start. I had to finish it before I could start another one, and I did finish it, and then I've started a new book, and this one's a lot better. So when I was going through that, and I was kind of just thinking on it, like, wow, like this would be a great video for the channel, because I've talked to you guys about completing goals faster and a couple other topics. I haven't actually talked to you about how you can complete those goals. So I wanted to get into a couple tips on how you can complete these goals and why you should complete these goals. So tip number one on completing your goals, how you can complete goals, especially if they're not beneficial to you, is you have to try to look at it on the why, or what can you take from it. Because even though I could have went through that entire book and gotten to the last page and gotten a nugget that I needed for my success. I was in Hollywood this past summer, and I met a guy, just randomly, just going out or whatever. And the one thing that he told me, he was an older guy, and the one thing that he told me that kind of stuck with me, he was like, the best thing about life is you can meet someone today, or you can see something today that can change your overall direction, and it could be the missing ingredient for you. I was telling him about my mobile app, because at the time I was going through the process of getting the money together and blah 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 blah, and he was like, well, keep going, because the thing about it is you can meet someone today that could be the missing ingredient that you've been looking for. And I've held on to that because it really plays a role in us completing things in our daily tasks, or whatever it is, or projects, whatever it is that we're taking on. It plays a huge role in that, because you never know. You could get to the very end of a project that has not been beneficial to you 99% of it, but that 1% could be exactly what you need to catapult you into your success. Think about it. You have no idea where it could take you. And I'm going to give you an example. That mobile app that I'm talking about, and I've talked about it in multiple videos over these last couple of weeks, is even though I have, mobile apps are not cheap, guys. If you look it up, the average mobile app is 40 to 60 grand nowadays. It's becoming one of the most hot markets, generating more revenue than Hollywood itself. So it was not cheap. It was not just something that you could just throw a couple bucks at and it'd be all fine and dandy. The one thing that kind of sucks about it now is I have not seen a return on investment from my mobile app, but I can still see the benefits of it because I completed it. Not just personal fulfillment, but here's the benefits that have come from it. When people see that I have a mobile app, whether it be on my social media or they meet me in person, we shake hands and I tell them something about like my projects and what I'm doing. When I tell them that I have a mobile app and they check it out and they're like, wow, this is actually pretty cool, it makes people approach me in a completely different way. I've had people who are way light years ahead of me want to sit down and have meetings with me just because that I have a mobile app. Even though I haven't seen a return from it, I've seen it in my network. People will take me seriously. I'm not just another kid who's young trying to say that he's an entrepreneur in his Twitter or Facebook bio. I actually have something that took real drive and real dedication and real capital to develop. And it makes people approach me with a completely different respect. That's just one benefit. You guys have to really see the things that you're taking on, whether it be as simple as a book or as simple as a big project that you may have started it, and then once you get into it, you realize that it's not that beneficial. You have to really see it as that, like, what can I get from it at the end? And even if it doesn't come in your network or your money or whatever the case may be, you have to really see it as, like, what can I get from this personally? It's going to be either self-fulfilling that you finished what you started, or it could come in the form of network, money. You have no idea. I don't know what projects you guys are working on, but that's just how it affected me. Yeah, I didn't see a return on investment yet. I may still see it. Who knows? Now that I have it done, all it takes is for me to give some more energy towards it, and I could find that missing ingredient that guy was talking about. I'm finished with it. It's done. All it takes is some tweaks now to take it to the next level. Okay, so that's just one tip, guys. Try to look at it from a perspective of what can I get from the end of this. Okay. Tip number 2 is make it a responsibility, make it a duty to complete it. I don't care what you're doing or how humble and how confident and all this stuff that people feel are important nowadays. It does not matter how much of that you have. If you don't have integrity, nothing else matters. Nothing. You could be a cocky person, an arrogant person, but if you have integrity, people are still going to respect you just as much as they respect a person who's humble, quieter, and just a little bit more easygoing. They're going to respect you just as much just because you finish things that you say that you're going to do. So make it a duty, make it a responsibility that if you don't finish this, you're knocking yourself. You're not hurting anybody else. You're hurting yourself by not finishing it. Okay? And then the third tip that I would say, guys, is spend less time on it. Sounds stupid, but instead of giving yourself, let's say, 2 hours to complete a goal, give yourself 30 minutes of jam-packed just action, just going at it hard as you can be. Phone is on airplane mode, computers put aside unless you have to be on your computer. You're not answering phone calls, you're not doing anything. You're focused on it for 30 full minutes to give your all to it and see how much you can get done. Like how much better does that sound than giving yourself 2 hours to complete a goal? You're getting distracted, you're tired, especially if it's something that's not really, grabbing your interest and your attention. Like, giving yourself 2 full hours of it is going to wear you out. It's not going to be great. It's not going to give you the motivation that you need. So reduce that time and give yourself 30 full minutes, or maybe even 15, depending on the project. 15, 30 minutes of just non-stop productivity and jam-packed action towards the goal. Okay? So just to recap, first one is change your mindset on how it can benefit you. 2 is make it a responsibility and a duty to complete it. And then 3, reduce the time that you have to give to it to complete the project. I'd rather give 30 minutes each day to a month-long project than give 2 hours in 2 hours each day of something that I'm not really interested in the first place. That book, I went ahead and finished it up, but if I wanted to, I could have reduced it into smaller increments where I'm listening to it at 15-20 minutes at a time instead of going through hours on end. That's what I easily could have done to make it a little bit more bearable, but I just went ahead and got through it just because that's the habit that I've built. And you can slowly start building habits from little tweaks in your mindset on it, in your approach to a goal that you don't really like. Okay, so that's all I've got for you guys. I hope that you can take a lot of value from this, and I will see you on the next video of Opinionation Station.